Gotta recenter it. Reset. There we go. Hi, guys. Good to see you. So, got a package. It says, please don't bend. And then it's got a cute little sticker on it that says, look, made with love and care, and probably some cuss words. And then there's another one on this side that says, I hope this package brings you joy and love. Snap, tag, share, review. We appreciate it so much. And then, as if it doesn't, I didn't give it away when I posted that I was going to be going live. It does say for the, Mark IV and for the Core 1, but anybody who knows the Prusa ecosystem, you know that the build volume is the same across all but the Mini and the XL. And since I don't have an XL sitting here, this is going to fit on that. So we're going to put this on that. And then we're going to play around with it. But that being said, 3D Medic Vince, Havoc, and Shane, good to see you guys. Hope you're doing well. You would not get another one from them. Havoc, yes, I know you've had some experiences with them, but I've had 3 of these so far, and they've all been pretty good. As long as you don't print material on it that you're not supposed to, I've had pretty good luck. I've even printed stuff you're not supposed to. So I know you personally will not, and that's fine. But I've had good luck. I'm hoping that number 3 here is also going to be as good. I knew there are other ones out there, like I know the Khedive ones are starting to become like the big thing, but package is open. Here we go. I'm looking to see. Nope, nothing down there. But the usual stuff. We've got the Sliceworx sticker and the I Heart Sliceworx stickers. So, like I said, I know some people have had bad experiences and that's caused them not to want to use them, and I understand that. This one, gotta double check something real quick here, because Core 1 unit. Okay, this does not feel like the textured plates I've gotten from them in the past, so this must be one of the new ones. It's got an interesting texture to it. You haven't had the best of luck with things sticking to it. Yeah, this one doesn't feel like the old dip plates, so, but it does have a tackiness to it even when cold. This one, I'm wondering if it's just a flex plate, because I thought I was getting a dip plate, but let me check that. Let me check that. Sliceworx. Let's go check Sliceworx real quick and see which one they actually sent me. Because I thought it was a dip plate. That doesn't look like a dip plate, so I'm a little confused. But that's okay. Flex dip textured. Okay, so it's saying it's textured. So there we go. Everything stuck so much you had to scrape the bed coating off. Ah, yes, yes. Dan Adams, good to see you, sir. Hope you're doing well. Yes, it actually sticks very well. Yes. Well, I'm going to stick this bad boy on here, and I'm going to throw something at it, and we're going to see how it goes. But I know that they are very sticky. That was the thing I was going to say I had. I thought you were saying it was not sticky enough, but bam. It is on there. It fits. It's a little bit smaller than the standard plate, but not enough that I think it would affect anything I'm going to print. We're going to send a Dapper Dan duck at it because that's what I've got on there. Actually, we're going to reslice because if I remember right, I think even these old or new or whatever, the dip plates, you want to go with a lower temp. And that's one thing I got to say. It did not come with like the sheet from the past. I remember there being like a little sheet that said, or like on the actual build plate, it told you, you can print PLA, PETG, and then it would tell you like what temps to print at. So let me go find that part out real quick. Go to shop, and let's go to not slice boxes. However, I wouldn't argue if I was getting slice boxes. Dip plate. Then let's look for the Mark IV Sliceworx dip plate for Prusa, Mark III, Mark IV. And what does it say here? Let's see, use your PLA, TPU, ABS, PETG. Adhere to print surface. Strongly recommend you do not print ASA, STTPU, PLA Flex, TPU derivatives, Polymaker Smooth Poly, PLA, PVB, PC, or nylon on this surface. Looking for anywhere where it talks about like preferred print temps. Just keep saying not to print certain things. It says strictly do not use PLA or IPA, alcohol, or acetone to clean the surface. Pretty much just hot water. Or if you're going to use soapy water, make sure you rinse, rinse, rinse until all bubbles come off. Clean with a damp cloth to prevent grease buildup. So just a wet, damp cloth. Says may permanently scratch or damage the build plate. So it's saying not to use anything. Havoc, yeah, 30 to 50. That's what I figured, but I'm not seeing anything on the actual manufacturer, like on Sliceworx's plate page about that. And on the build, on the sheets, I've got, they all say 30 to 50. So yeah. Make the cloth like Murph moist. Yes. Yes, yes. Yeah, I've got the other sheets, Havoc, so I've got those numbers. But thank you, good sir. It saves me, but I was just trying to see if I could verify it. I don't see it, so that'll be something I'll reach out to them and let them know that. I know on the sheet in the picture here, like if you look on the actual photo here, it does say PLA 30 to 50, PETG 50 to 70. And then like this one is different looking than the ones that are here on the site. So, but yes, and Bob Carnes and Zybertech, good to see you guys. Down Under Maker, good to see you. Good morning to you. I know it's morning and it's evening here. I had a long day, guys. I was up and at work by 6, worked all day, got off of work, went to my parents' house, installed a blower motor resistor in my parents' vehicle, then stole their mower, came home, mowed my grass, and then went back to their house and mowed their front yard, and then put the mower away, and then came home, spent a couple minutes with the missus, and now I'm out here hanging out with you guys. We're going to throw a print at that, but I'm going to redo the slicer for it. I think if I remember right, I put the Mark III in Orca slicer. I don't think I used Prusa slicer. Shh, don't tell Joseph. LTX, what's going on? Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. I had a long day, gents. Oh, I also got the M6 heat inserts for the lab racks, the little 10-inch server rack. I got the M6s in. Let's make sure they're actually M6s though. Oh yeah. M6s, so we can put the M6 heat inserts in the lab racks, little 10-inch rack, and then I printed the part for the network switch. I just have to print a couple for the Raspberry Pi and whatever else. Hey, Bearded Bucket, good to see you, man. Hope you're doing well. The Bruce is calling your name from the workshop. Finally got it open or finally get to open it tomorrow. Nice. Can't wait, man. I will attempt to watch if you're streaming it, right? Down Under, I believe you said you were streaming that. But yes, I have the Mark III's over here, and let's change that. Let's go with what's on there. Currently, it's Prusament. It's funny that Prusament isn't even an actual option in here in the Sliceworx, but we'll just tell it that it's basic bamboo PLA. There we go. And then we need to, it won't let me change the build plate. That's the mean part. But at least we can go in here and go to, where is it? Right here. Trying to remember. Yeah, there we go. All right, it's currently set to 55. We'll set it to 35. Just to start with, we'll start at 35 and see how that does. And I do print at 220, but we're going to bump that down actually to 215 because 220 gets a little stringy. Let's put 215. It prints slow enough. It's a Mark III. It's printing slow enough. 215 should be fine. And then we're going to go ahead and save this. And we're going to save it as PLA Basic. And then where it says at system, we're going to change that to Prusa MK3S Plus. And then hit OK. And there we go. Now we have a basic PLA profile with the lowered temperatures. And let's go grab the Dapper Dan duck. So give me a moment to remember where the hell I put the Dapper Dan duck. Yeah, 10 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. 10 p.m. Eastern your time, right? Oh, no, Eastern tomorrow. It would be our time. So 10 p.m. our time, which would be 9 o'clock my time. I should be home from my board meeting. So I should be able to watch that. I don't know why I said Eastern your time. I don't know what the hell I was thinking. Man, I'm an idiot. Don't mind me. I had a moment of stupidity there. Let's find our 3D duck. There we go. Open the 3D duck. Thank you, BuiltOverBot, for this amazing duck that I use as like my test print for everything. Yep. That's the Dapper Dan duck. If you go look up on things, you can find BuiltOverBot, and you got it. You got the combo. Nice. All right. So let's see what the basic strengths are. 3, 4, and 3. Let's just do 3, 3, and 3. 15% infill. Let's make it 10. It prints fine at 10% infill. And we'll leave it on crosshatch because why not? But 3, 3, and 3 with 10% infill. Standard print speed. Let's slice this bad boy up real quick. All right. There we go. It says 1 hour, 30 minutes. We've been streaming for 14 minutes. I think we can let it ride. It's probably going to run out of filament, so I'm probably going to have to grab another spool. But I've been printing a bunch of miscellaneous ducks in different filaments, trying to use them up because I had a lot of partials. So let's go ahead and execute this. Oh, I forgot. It's an old printer. It doesn't have that. I need to take the SD card out. My bad. My bad. My bad. There we go. Let's stick the SD card in the SD card reader. Plug that in. And then let's go ahead and export now. And there we go. All right, we got to change one thing on here. I'm just going to put DP in front of it for dip plate. Jack in the shop. What's going on, man? How's Jack? Hope you're doing well. Hope the shop is thriving. Check your DMs to fix the build plate selector. I will take a peek. Bear with me, though. Let me eject this real quick, and then I'll play around with that. There we go. All right. Jump back here real quick. Drop this back in the slot there. All right. And DP 3D duck. Bam. All right. We're going to let this thing go. I probably should have ran a bed level test first, huh? Like an idiot. I just put a different build plate on there. I probably should have like redid the offset. Off axis. Good to see you. Let me look at my DMs real quick here. Click here. Oh, there we go. Support. I got to check the box. It says support multiple build plate types. Yeah, I'm an idiot. We can fix that real quick though. So click here. Whoops, wrong spot. Click here. And then let me show you guys, in case anybody else has this issue and is dumb like me and don't have people like LTX around to help you out. What you'll do is you'll click on the printer that you want to do this to. You hit the little edit, and then right here, support multiple build plate types. Check the box, and look, now it opens up. And then you just save it. In this case, I'll just delete out a bunch of stuff and just save it as, you know, Mark III with a 0.4. Save. Now I can change it between smooth engineering, textured PEI coated, textured cool plate, which is probably what I would end up using because this one isn't a super tack as far as I know. But we can do the textured cool plate, and then there we go. Now in the future, it has textured cool plate, and then it should be fine. But there we go. Tech Jeeper, what's up, man? Good to see you. Bearded Bucket, good to see you again. I know I already said something to you, but hi again. Oh, all right, gang. So it's getting ready to print over there. Let's see how that prime line's going down. Good. Looks actually not too bad. I don't think I'm gonna let it ride out here. We'll see once the first leg is done and it gets out of the way and I can see if I need to smush it or not. But it did pretty good. And let me look at that leg. Let me see that leg. How's it printing? Yeah, it looks pretty good. We're gonna let it ride. We're gonna let it ride. In your defense, whoever made that profile should have had that enabled already. Well, unless you made the profile, then it's your fault. It's not my fault. I didn't make the profile. It's the default Prusa profile in Orca Slicer. But don't tell Joseph I'm using Orca Slicer and not, you know, Prusa Slicer. But it's good to see you guys. I kind of on a whim did this one tonight, so we're not doing a roll of filament tonight. Tomorrow night is board meeting night, so it's late night for me at work. I may stream again on Wednesday night because Thursday is my daughter's, it's volleyball season. So my daughter has tournaments in the evenings on Thursday nights for the next month. So Thursday nights I won't be streaming, but I will probably stream Wednesday night this week, and we'll give away 2 rolls of filament since I didn't stream last week because of volleyball starting. So this week we'll stream on Wednesday. We'll give away 2 rolls of filament. Depending on when my adopted, we'll say adopted, my daughter, it's a young lady that was, when my wife was married to their dad, it would have been her stepdaughter, but daughter. And I've known this little girl since before she was even born. So she's like a daughter. So her and her girlfriend are coming over so I can teach them how to change oil in a car. That'll be Wednesday. So it'll be get off of work Wednesday, do that, and then stream Wednesday evening. So I might look even more scruffy and messy than I do tonight. But we'll stream Wednesday night. Wednesday night, maybe I need some M6 by 10 millimeter screws. I don't know if I put them in my Amazon wish list, but if I didn't, somebody could look at it and let me know. There's a link somewhere for that. It's in my Linktree. If you want to look, if somebody wants to get those for me, then possibly have those by Wednesday, and then we could Wednesday evening build the Labrax kit. We could put the heat inserts in and build it up with what little bit I have for it, and then we'll print whatever else we need. Well, Bearded Bucket is here. Bearded Bucket, can I show? Can I show? It's in plain sight, but I don't think anybody sees it. Can I show? Am I allowed to show? It's a derivative of Prusa Slicer, so it's fine. Just as a layer or 2 of, oh, okay, yeah, go ahead. So since Bearded Bucket knows that I've been playing around or getting interested in like 3D printable racks, like, you know, little 10-inch racks and stuff, he's been working on something as like a little kind of like a test unit something that people could print out real quick and then set it up for basically like a little testing unit. And it could potentially have like applications within the school. So he sent me the files, said print these out, tell me what you think. I still need to pick up some 1x2, so I don't have 1x2 to cut and final assemble, but he made this little 2U that uses actual like rack hardware, and it's just a little 2U, and then you take some 1x2 and cut it to length, put it in there with some number 8 screws, and you can make it basically as wide or as wide or as narrow as you need it to be. And then obviously you print 4 of them and mirror the one, and then you have the ability to make it as deep or as narrow as you need it to be. So if somebody's looking for like a little test rack, something to set up like a test rack unit on for 2U, and it uses, like I said, standard network hardware, they just pop right in there. Look at that. I am a side-to-side guy, not an up and down, because when you start stacking them close together like these, you don't run into that issue where they could potentially interfere with one another. So if anybody wants to know, I'm a side-to-side, not an up and down. But there you go. So if anybody's interested in this, I'm sure at some point Bearded Bucket will put these out there somewhere where we can find them and grab them. But it wasn't a bad print. Like I don't know if he's going to mirror it and upload it with, it mirrored. If not, it's simple. You download and print 2 of them in one direction and then mirror that and have it mirrored in the other direction, and then bam. And it has a breakaway support in this area here. So when you're printing it, there's a breakaway support you just snap out. So it's already in there. It's just basically drop it on the build plate, set your parameters, and send it. And it took, I printed this on the actual Mark III back there as a good break-in. And I think it ended up taking like 12 or 13 hours on an older Mark III. So there's that to keep in mind. And that printed all 4 parts at one time. So it's not like I printed each individual piece. I threw all 4 of them on the build plate. You can squeeze 4 of these on the build plate, no problem, and have plenty of room. Mr. C-Tunes, good to see you. Hope you're doing well. So if anybody's interested, please tell Bearded Bucket to upload that somewhere, and then he is a mod. He can share the link. So tell him to upload it. Tell him to share the link. And if anybody's interested, it even prints with little feet. They're hardened feet, but they will work for like basic stuff. And I mean, you can do like a little 2U 10-inch rack if you wanted to, or you could do the standard 19-inch, either one. And then it's just a matter of measuring, cutting some 1x2. It's just a standard 1x2. You can pick it up for, I think it was a 6 or an 8 foot piece in my area that was like $3. And then some number 8, wood screws. You get some number 8, like 3/4 or 1 inch. You can get some 1 inch number 8 screws, because you've got a little bit of depth here, so you'll lose that into the wood. You've got a little bit of thickness here, so if you do a 1 inch screw or like a 3/4 inch screw, that'll bite into the wood enough. Be great for just a simple little, throw it on a bench at a school, and they can put a couple, like a network switch and maybe something else in there to kind of do some basic, simple networking. You can put a couple of them next to each other. And I know that he's already got the scope creep going, and he's already got different ideas for other things down the road. So please, if it's cool and you think you would, nothing else, just go download it when he does upload it. Go download it, and there you go. 1/2 inch or 5/8 is plenty. You wouldn't go through a 1/2 inch. A 1x2, sorry, since it's not actually 1x2. Correct. So you can do like a 1/2 inch. Get like a 1/2 inch number 8 wood screw, and basically if you get yourself an 8 foot section of 1x2, it's gonna be more than enough. You'll probably have enough to make a couple of them if you wanted to, because again, you're gonna need 2 of them at less than 19 inches, because if you do a standard 19-inch rack, it's a 19-inch rack from here to here, not from here to here. So you just subtract that distance and cut it, and then there you go. And then depending on how deep you want it, again, like I said, depending on how deep you want it, you could do like a 12-inch deep, 16-inch deep, So You can make it as deep as you want. So depending on the type of network equipment you're putting in there, just depends on what you need. And then again, you don't have to put anything in here, obviously, on the backside, but if you wanted to put some in the backside, if you were going to use a larger piece of network equipment that had ears in the front and the rear, you could put some more in here and then attach it to the rear and to the front, and that'll help add a little bit of rigidity. It's not very tall, so I can't see where you're going to have too many issues with flexing and bending. So I just got to get some 1x2 and some number 8 screws. That'll come during payday, unless somebody hits up PayPal, Cash App, or Venmo. Links down there in the link tree. But yeah, or rails, yeah. Or if you got like a server rack with rails on it, you could basically just connect the rails front and back, and you probably wouldn't need to, but if you did, you could just basically measure out and put a 1x2 in there. So if you got a deeper server rack or deeper server, maybe you want to just get these and you have like a small server, you just want to slide it in under something, you could just print these to keep it up off the floor and slide it in under a shelf or under a table or something like that. I'm sure based on scope creep and everybody's ideas, he may even come out with something like this where instead of a foot here, you would have a couple of screws that you could do here and here and then mount it up under something, and then you just take the foot off of it and you could mount it up under, like in my case with my shelves here, or with this 2x4 here, I could mount a set of them just directly right into the 2x4 underneath this. So there's scope creep for you, bud. Another thought, another idea. You just take that off, put a hole in here for a screw here and a screw here. Or basically you'd have to go through the wood and through the 2x4 this way. But you can still put the screws in this way, but you'd still have to put a hole or something to go through this way and then right up underneath, you know. Or maybe flip it so that, I mean, you wouldn't even really need the 1x2 then, and realistically, you just use these holes instead, and then you just screw it up there. You just have to take the foot off of it. So you could leave the holes, and if you want to make it even a little bit thicker this way. Viking, what's going on, brother? Another project in our maker space. Viking with his, let's see here, tinkeratlas.com. Whoops. Viking's been kind of teasing this out, but let me grab the link for that since, you know, I can. If anybody's interested, Viking's been working on tinkeratlas.com. There's the link. You can go sign up. He's doing some kind of gamification with it or some achievements. So it's basically going to be like a little hub for tinkerers to come and share their projects, and along the way, as you share things on there, like pictures of the projects you're working on, you earn points and stuff. And I'm sure down the road, he'll have, you know, other cool things that he's going to be adding. I know he's been working on it a lot, so he's working on it while he's listening, see? Michael Cassell, it's also good to see you, sir. I didn't miss you there. I just kind of ADHD into my conversation. And since I've been kind of featuring stuff, Gigi, good to see you as well. But since I kind of get, you know, we're playing with the plate and it's doing its thing, and it did fail. I knew I should have pushed it in closer. Let's go ahead and stop the print. I did think that it was probably a little too high, and I did not actually do a first layer adjust or first layer calibration, so I should have known better. Yeah, that first layer was way off. Like, that first layer was way off. Look at that first layer. It should have been closer. You can see it, especially in the butt. Should have been closer. My fault. I take full responsibility. Let's redo the let's do an actual, let's do the smart thing, shall we? Let's go back here. Let's go into calibration, first layer calibration. And we already know that it's riding a little high, so we'll go ahead and just leave it at the current, and we'll tell it PLA. And then we'll smush it down a little bit more. And I did not wash the plate. That's on me. I don't have, I guess I have some water over there, and I have a microfiber, so if we do that and it still has a problem, I can just moisten, I can Murph my my microfiber. I can MRF the microfiber and then wipe it down. So there's that too. So from now on, guys, don't say moist or moisten, say MRF. You're gonna MRF your microfibers and then clean your build plates. So MRF your microfiber instead of moisten. But yeah, no, Viking, brother. It's a cool little site. Let's go back here and boom, if you guys haven't seen it yet, there's the welcome back. And it shows like achievements and stuff, and you know, you earn achievements for posting, and then here's the achievement board, here's site news, so he's talking about bug fixes and stuff. So if you guys haven't signed up and you do go sign up, please, if you're finding bugs and stuff, remember to report them to Viking so that he can get that taken care of. I don't want to necessarily click on the map. It's a public website, but I don't want to click on the map and potentially dox people. They're putting it on there, but still not my place to show it. But if you click on the map, you can find people. Come back here now. Dark mode isn't quite finished yet. Ah, I see. Well, here you go. Here it is in not dark mode. But he's got like the full leaderboard. There we go. And then it shows kind of like what your achievements and stuff are, like what you get. Let me come over here and check this real quick. Hang tight, guys. Okay. Okay, that feels a bit better. When I think I'm close enough, oh, there's a little bit of a low spot. We're gonna have to re-level the bed or do a. For some reason in the middle it doesn't want to stick right there. Let's see. That's better. Really shouldn't do this in black on black like that because it's just not the easiest thing to see. Ugh. Getting old sucks, guys. Getting old sucks. I'm the oldest one here. I don't care what any of you say. I'm older than all of you. You can argue with me all you want. I'm not going to hear it. Steve Machado, you thought proofs had just worked? You know, they're like everything. They just work as long as you don't mess with it. Now, we're trying a Sliceworx plate on here. So, I just got it. I didn't clean it. And we sent a print to it, and it had kind of a spot. And it's sticking quite well in spots. But there we go. Yeah, I got it dialed in there at the end, so we're good. Now I just got to dig this off, and then I'm going to MRF my microfiber, and we're going to wipe it down. Yeah, we're going to MRF the microfiber. Give me just a second here, guys. We're not going to use. Let me go back here. We're not going to use IPA on there because it says not to, but we're going to MRF the microfiber. And then we're going to wipe it down. Just MRF in the microfiber. If you're at MRF, you understand. If you weren't at MRF, you've seen videos, you know it was a bit of a moist one. There we go. All right, it's been MRFed. All right, that's been MRFed. Let's go ahead and print from SD, and I believe it was set to do a bed level before it prints. It was supposed to bed level before it did the first layer, so it should be okay now, I think. We'll find out. suggest putting a pin in the general area where you are at least. Yeah, just the general area. You don't have to dox yourself completely. Reverend, I don't care. I'm still older than you. I don't care. I told you, I am not accepting your reality. I'm older. I may be older, but I am not wiser. I'm just an idiot. I just happen to have a fancy webcam and a microphone, and I'm here. So I help make you all feel better because I'm an idiot. So you all feel better about yourselves. So you guys are just here for charity. Is that what it is? Like, this is like your community service hours? You guys come hang out with me for community service hours, and then you just submit that. You tell your parole officer that you put in some community service hours with an idiot, make him feel better about himself. I'm just playing, guys. I'm just playing, and I don't truly feel that way about myself. Okay. Now it's going again. And from what I can see, that first layer is looking a bit closer, a bit tighter. And this Prusament has been sitting out open air for a while. Not an excuse, but an excuse. I gave you one. But look at all the ducks I've been printing in just partials just to get rid of them. I think this one turned out the best because he's got the only issue is with the hat sloping in the back. This part was already done, but from the front, he looks quite dapper with his blue, red, and green hat. So, you did the Atlas thing last night. You think? Hey, if you did, cool. Welcome to Atlas, the Tinker Atlas. We still have the 500% that was printed on the Magneto, which I have not played around with in a while. I can't remember what happened to the Magneto the last time I played around with it, but I know that something's going on with it. The FL Sun has a clog again. And hopefully in the next week or so, a Centauri Carbon should be coming my way. Hopefully. I was told possibly 2 weeks, and that was over a week ago. So hopefully in the next week. I know that things are delayed and taking forever, so it might be longer than that. We've been waiting for a while. But again, thank you to Fabrico for sending that out when it gets here. We'll do an unboxing, we'll set it up, and we'll print with it. And then, unlike stuff in the past, we're not going to mess with that one. We're just going to get it dialed, we're going to print with it, and then it's going to be my go-to machine for pretty much everything, because it's going to work. It's just going to work. So, I'm going to just use that machine and not mess with it. This one is currently just going to reside here until I have to take it back to work. And when I have to take it back to work, it's going to go back to work. But for now, it's going to reside with me. Because no one really cares. Because they have Prusacor 1s to take the place of this old dinosaur. And added it into the high school rotation. So the high school currently has two Mark IVs, not the S's. But they have two Mark IVs, a Mini, and the Core 1, as well as an Ultimaker S5 from circa 2019. I have a couple of network switches I believe I ordered. I'm going to actually plug in and wire in all of the printers to the network. Just because I'm tired of staff plugging and unplugging USB devices and then causing issues and they die and then we have to replace them. So we'll just leave the devices plugged in and just tell them to slice it and send it. So I'm going to get their slicers all set up with all the IP addresses for all the printers that they need access to. That'll be good to go. But yes, again, So Bearded Bucket is working on, or has designed these. He just needs to get them uploaded somewhere so you guys can get them if you want a little 2U to set up like a little 2U test rack. And then again, Scope Creep is coming in and we're throwing ideas out there. And like I said, if he makes, realistically, all he's got to do is just chop the feet off the bottom. The holes that are in it would be fine. And then I could mount something like that, you know, up under here. And then I could even mount network equipment up under something. Tripod, good to see you, man. Hope you're doing well. Did you guys see the Tripod's famous now? Like, he's famous. That Morator that he did a video on, they're using he did like a ad video or a commercial video for them as well, and it's up on their Facebook page, and I think they're put up on their website too, so you can go check it out. So that was pretty sweet. They even responded to my message. I jokingly, not jokingly, but jokingly told them that I've been using my parents' mower for like 9 years. They said something along the lines of if my friends wanted to do more do some content to let them know. I'll make some beautiful content with one if it ever shows up. But not getting my hopes up. Let's just put it that way. For the price tag of those things, I don't think that I am anywhere up to par with their advertising. So I don't think that it would be a fair trade for them. And don't get me wrong, for 9 years, I have been using my parents' ride mower, and instead I could just sit in a chair in my yard and just like drive my mower around. I would be ecstatic. Even if it was the 2-wheel drive model, I don't have a very crazy landscape that requires 4-wheel drive or all-wheel drive. The more basic 2-wheel drive unit would be good for my yard. There's no crazy slopes. So, I mean, if they think I'm worth, you know, the 2-wheel drive variant, I would definitely mow my grass remote control. Not gonna lie, I really do think that thing is badass. Like it's almost like a death racer for your yard and any small animal that gets in the way. But no, the thing's pretty sweet. If you guys haven't seen them, check them out. I get no kickback or nothing. I don't know if Tripod gets a kickback. If he's got a link, I think Tripod, I think not only are you a member, I think you're also a mod. So if you are and you have like a affiliate link for those, drop it. Go ahead, man. I don't know if they have an affiliate program, but if they do and you have a link, drop one. That way people can go check them out. And if they have, you know, I think they're on sale right now too. So if they buy them now, they get a discount. So if you want an RC lawnmower, definitely worth checking out. I don't know where Tripod's at, so I don't know if he's got access if he does. No kickbacks, wasn't a promotional video. Okay. Well, I wasn't sure, good sir, but it was definitely cool. Definitely would not mind one. So if they want to send one my way, I'm not going to say no. But yes, so we are good now. I just needed to MRF a microfiber and wipe it down and then re-level the or redo the first layer. And now it appears to be doing its thing. I do know it's going to run out of filament while printing that, so be prepared for the annoying Prusa beep, beep, beep at some point in the background. But like I said, guys, we'll do I'm going to do a stream again later this week. If I don't do one on Wednesday, maybe Friday or Saturday, I for sure will do another stream and we'll give away the 2 spools of filament. Tonight was just the package showed up from Sliceworx and I wanted to play around with it and we didn't have a lot going on. So the missus was like, sure, go do a stream. So it was a quick, like, throw it together and here we are. So. You need to rebuild your RC mower. It's been about 4 years now. Sweet. Havoc, you need a yard. Yeah, you're on the hook for mowing before you can get any type of mower. Yeah, you do need a mower, or you do need a yard to mow the grass with, or to have a reason to mow the grass. I mean, there's a win there, though. I mean, you don't have grass to worry about mowing, right? But we see something here real quick. Look at that build plate. Like I said, me personally, I've had good luck with these. They do stick quite well, probably sometimes better than you want them to, but I do like them. And this is the newer one. I've got some of the older textured plates, like the double or triple dip. I don't remember if it was a double or triple dip, but I do have those, and they're not as textured as this one is. This does definitely have more texturing on it than the other plates. Let me back out here. You got a soft goal of 100 users on Tinker Alice by the end of the week. Currently, you're at 64. Your focus is on getting more features done and fixing bugs and pop-up that pop-up though. Yes, Viking, I understand completely. Gotta love textured plates. Yes, sir, I do. I am a fan of the flex plate to begin with, and then the fact that it's a texture. I like texture. And then the fact that it's the dip plate, so it's stickier. And it is still printing away. So there we go. Don't be dumb like Dan. Make sure when you put a new build plate on that you re-level and check your first layer before you full send a print. Otherwise, you wind up with spaghetti. You wind up with your print doing this because it wasn't close enough, because you were being dumb and you didn't let that first layer get close enough. Look at how off that was. And I got stupid and said, we're going to let it ride. I really should have calibrated the first layer first. So that was on me, because that was definitely not close enough. So you like smooth plates like the Wham Bam and the on the Merc? Yeah. Like I said, in general, I just like the flex plate over everything. Don't care for glass anymore. Haven't been a fan of glass in quite some time. Got spoiled with flex plates. So love the flex plates. And then I like the smooth for certain applications, and I like the textured for pretty much everything else. What can I say? The finish on a textured plate, that finished print where, like, these were printed on, again, on the Mark Mark III back there. And I think that this surface is nice as smooth, but I think with a little bit of a textured pattern on it would look a little bit nicer. But that's just me. To each their own. I will not tell anyone what to do with their money or how to spend it, but I will say that if you wanted to get a textured plate from Sliceworx, consider using my affiliate link, because you get a discount and it gives me a little kickback. So helps me out, helps you out, and everybody wins. So if you're looking to get a plate, consider Sliceworx, consider my affiliate link down below, and save yourself a little bit of money and gets me a kickback. If you don't get a discount, my discount code is the hardest discount code in the world to remember. MMN. It's very difficult. The fact that I was able to get that discount code is pretty sweet. So you use my referral link or my affiliate link, gets you there. If you don't see the discount automatically applied, MMN should apply a discount for you. You use BV3Ds and he got no kickback from it? Really? Because I've been getting them. I keep getting notifications all the time that people are using my code even still. So it's pretty sweet, because like every month I get notifications that somebody's used my link. So not too many people tell me that they did, so I don't know who's using it and who's not. But I do see that there are sales that are made using my affiliate link. So I will continue to put it out there. You know, every little bit helps, especially when you don't make a lot. And while we're waiting for that to print, I will tell you guys that after some of our previous conversations about some things, I've been talking to the loving missus, and I think that I am going to start offering a 3D printing like repair service in my area. So I'm going to start advertising it out, but I want to kind of legitimize MakerMind Nexus first. So I do want to go down the path of LLCing MakerMind Nexus, and then offering a just repair service. So I think I'm going to more legitimize that. And then if it gets to the point where there's enough coming in from that, then we'll look at opening up a brick and mortar storefront where during the day, as I'm working, I'll probably stream and hang out with you guys while I'm working on customer printers. If, as long as they have no issue with that, I'll work on customer printers and we'll stream and hang out. So while I'm streaming, I can pull in some ad revenue to kind of help bring in some income. You know what I mean? And then work on printers, rebuild printers when we have like old printers. Like if somebody just brings in printers to drop off, if I have an actual facility someplace I can store them, that'd be great. And then we can kind of go through the pile and rebuild old printers. And then if somebody comes in and we know their situation is, I would love to get into it, I have the drive and passion, but I don't have the money, I can say, here's a 3D printer, here's a couple rolls of filament, tell Polymaker thank you, go have a nice day. Havoc. Maker Viking started a website called Tinker Atlas. It's a site for makers and tinkerers to go and post and share their projects, and it's geared towards the maker tinkerer. He's got it, he's setting up like a gamification on there, or gamifying it with achievements and other things. So as you complete things, complete profiles, sign up for the site, as you post stuff, the more posts you make on the site, the more achievements you unlock. And I'm sure at some point down the road, as the site gains traction and becomes popular, I'm sure there'll be other things that will come along. Maybe not right away, obviously, because he's still getting it off the ground. But who knows, down the road, maybe companies will get involved and maybe there'll be some sponsor stuff. Who knows? I can't say for sure. He can't say for sure because he doesn't know. He's still working on the site, and I'm just spitballing an idea out there that could possibly one day, might kind of sort of could, maybe not happen. But so if you go to the website, let me drop the link again here. Bam. Let's do this. Ready? Bam. There you go. And then let's do this. Ready? Pin the project. Now it's pinned to the top. There you go, Viking. Now it's pinned in chat. But yes, so Viking's got this little project going on. So bam, there you go. I'm going to process the process of using Amazon's SES. Okay, well, that's cool. Hey, not a problem, Viking. Like I said, if Bearded Bucket would get these things uploaded, then we could share the link for that too. But if anybody's interested, Bearded Bucket is working on it. It's not complete. It's not uploaded yet, but as a guy who works in schools, it could be a cool project for us to use in the schools. Oops. Sorry, guys. Ooh, I hope your ears are okay if you're wearing headphones. Oh, it's weird because I was only 2. Normally I sneeze like 3 or 4 times. But this is a little 2U like builder rack. It's just a 2U unit, and then you can use 1x2 and some number 8 wood screws, probably 1/2 inch long, to make it whatever width and depth you need it to be. And it uses standard network hardware. They just lock right in. And again, for those who missed it earlier, I am a side to side, not an up and down. So I put my parts, I put mine in side to side if it would focus. I put them in side to side, not up and down, because when you do this, sometimes you run into an issue where they overlap each other and they cause issues. So I'm a side to side guy. If anybody ever wondered, Dan's a side to side guy. Ow, there we go. You made sure to tell Gmail it's not spam. Yeah. You know what's going to be pretty sweet is I've got enough damn email addresses. I don't need another one. Just saying. So Viking, Don't worry about right now setting me up an email address. I'm good, man. I don't need one right now. It'd be cool to have Dan at tinkeratlas.com. That'd be pretty cool. But I don't need it right now. I still have many email addresses. Yeah, I know a lot of people have been mentioning that, so who knows? You've never used cage nuts? Used the holes in the rail? Yeah, a lot of the rails come with you know, another way of doing it. But yes. Killer Prince, good to see you, brother. Hope you're doing well. So we currently have the Sliceworx dip plate for the Prusa series on there. Look at that. It knew where to go right there. So we have it right there. And it's printing a Dapper Dan duck. And it'll probably be out of filament here soon. It's like an hour and a half print. So we're going to let it print and we're going to see how it does. I so far like the plate. We just unboxed it and threw it on there. I've used the older dip plates. Let me zoom back out here. I have used the older dip plates in the past. So I do know the older like double or triple dip. I forget what they called it. But I do have, I've had 2 of those now in the past. And I do quite like them. On the KP3, I've got one here. Let me unlock this real quick so we can go this way. Let's see if I can pull this out of here. I've got a bunch of crap on top of the poor thing. I need to get the KP3 up and running again. But this is the triple dip. I think it was triple dip is what they called it. Oh, of course, because I did that, you got mad at me. Come back here. Now let's lock you so you quit moving. But there we go. There's the original like gray dip plate that has a very mild texture on it. But this one is the actual textured dip plate. And it so far seems to be working good. I did need to murph the build plate first. So I had to, murph the microfiber. I had to moisten the microfiber and then wipe it down. And we reran the first layer calibration because I didn't do that. I just sent it and I wound up with some sketty. That was my bad because I can actually sit here and look right through this print and see light shining straight through the first couple layers. So that was my bad. That was in a hurry, like impatient me. This one actually is meant for the Prusa Mini, but it works on the KP3S or KP3S Pro. I forget which variant of the KP3 that is, but it came from Sliceworx as well. It was the one that Mr. Mitch used in the backpack printer for Rocky Mountain, not this last year, but the year prior. And then it kind of made its way home with me. Well, not home with me. He kept it for a while and then said, hey, would you like this printer? And I said, yes, I would. And I was going to keep it as a backpack printer, but I have not the tools that are required to redo what I was thinking, which is this blue frame you see back here. I need to cut it down, drill and tap the holes, and then make the frame smaller so that I can put that on there. I still have all of the parts, the bits, the pieces. I need to reprint the battery holders though, because the battery holders got warped as well as a lot of the PLA that was used to print all that. Icon, good to see you, man. Hope you're doing well. Since there's no hot makes tonight, it is nice that I'm able to stream and give people somewhere to go. So I'm glad you guys are here, hanging out with me while I print on the Sliceworx plate. And if you want to buy one, like I said, consider using my affiliate link. Even if you don't want to buy a plate, consider using my affiliate link down there. Helps me out, helps you out. But yeah, so again, Fabrico is supposed to be sending me a Centauri Carbon. Hopefully it'll ship out this week if all goes well. I don't know. But I was told roughly 2 weeks, a little over a week ago. So hopefully it'll ship out this week and then it'll get here. I still, for those who kind of were following the Core 1 saga with the one that I brought home, the other one is still at work and working just fine. The other one I brought back to work and have not heard anything back yet. So gonna need to light a fire tomorrow when I get to work. I'll send an email and see if support can assist me further. I think I'm just going to try removing they believe the issue is in the love board. So I'm thinking I may just take the cover off and double check that connector going to the love board from the main board and make sure that it is completely plugged in all the way and not, an issue where as it moves, it gets to a certain point and kicks it off. So I'm going to double check that and see, make sure that all of it looks pinned properly, like none of the pins didn't accidentally pop out. And double check that love board. And if it still doesn't work, I for sure will reach out to support and say, hey guys, I sent this over 2 weeks ago. I'm still waiting for a response. Can somebody at least give me an update? Or I'll probably go directly to Print and Solid since that's where I bought it from. And I kind of jumped Print and Solid and went straight to Prusa. Probably back up to Print and Solid and see what kind of, answers I can get there. So, but yeah, I'm going to love the Centauri. I'm hoping so, Killa. That's the printer I'm not going to mess with either. I'm just going to get it, unbox it, set it up, and, play around with it and print. And I'm hoping that it comes as good as they say, because not right now, obviously, but when I decide to make a poor financial decision, I want to buy a second one. I kind of like, I like the overall physical look of that printer. With a lot of the printers that are out there today, I like the more kind of flat edges, like the Bamboos and even the Flashforge and everything with that rounded look, the Anycubic S1, all those rounded edges. I like straight lines. I like flat edges or flat surfaces. So for me, that's partly part of the reason why I like the Lab Racks, little 10-inch printable rack as well, because of all the flat faces, flat surfaces, and the straight, the angles, more so than the rounded bits. Keela, good to see you, dear. I hope you're doing well. So that's, physically, the Centauri Carbon and the Centauri Carbon are more appealing to me because of that. I hope it performs. I know you've had good luck with yours, Killa. So I'm hoping that, the one that I receive I'll have good luck with that one as well when it gets here. And if I like it enough, my next bad financial decision would probably be to actually purchase one. So I'm hoping the one I receive is good, and then I will reach out to Fabrico and buy another one through them. I do miss, and I did go over the weekend, guys. I did go back out to my brother-in-law's. They were having some problems with the Flashforge. So while I was out there, I got it dialed in, and boy, do I miss the Flashforge. It was a good printer when I had it, and that was why my nephew asked me, he goes, Uncle Dan, why'd you give us this printer if you like it so much? I said, because it just worked. I said, it worked for me. Everything I threw at it, it just printed. It just worked. And I didn't want to give you guys a printer that was constantly going to have problems, and then Uncle Dan would constantly have to play tech support. He goes, oh, that makes sense. So, but I do miss that one. If I ever had a chance to acquire another one, I would. But I am liking the idea of, for about the same price, you can get a fully enclosed Core XY fast 3D printer. So that's kind of why I'm leaning towards, the possibility of making a poor financial decision and buying a second one. And if things work out, maybe some of this will go away and there'll just be a couple of them back there. And maybe if, like I was saying earlier with, MakerMind Nexus, hopefully, hey, look at that, Bearded Bucket is now a 12-month. So that means that for a year now, I have had the ability to have memberships, because I believe, Bearded Bucket, you are my longest running one, if I remember correctly. So thank you, good sir, for supporting me for the last year with membership. That is awesome. Greatly appreciated. But as I was saying, uh, yes, it does go way too fast. Yes, it does. I have nowhere near the amount of members as the Lee Marie 3D channel. They are killing it. So I already know that all of you guys are subscribed to them, and many of you are members. So I don't have to tell you to go over there. But if anybody watches this after the fact and you're not, subscribed to Lee Marie 3D, go over there and subscribe, because everybody that's here is already subscribed. So, but if you're not, go subscribe. They're an awesome husband and wife team. And Keela always keeps Jeremy in line. And if he gets out of line, she whoops his booty. But, okay, enough squirreling. Back to what I was saying. Like, the MakerMind Nexus, I know in the past I've talked about, like, we were talking about it and, some LLC and all that stuff. And I am kind of seeing it more and more as I'm going to start offering in my area, like 3D printer services. So like if somebody needs something worked on, and I'm going to even kind of look at down the road about seeing about if any of the manufacturers want to offer up some kind of like a certification thing so that I can say I'm certified and maybe even do some repair stuff for them in-house. That's down the road. But up front, it'll just be, I'm a schmuck and I know what I'm doing. If you want me to fix it, bring it on by. And then, we'll bring in printers, and in the evenings when I'm sitting here at night, I can work on some 3D printers, fire up a stream, hang out with you guys while we're working on a printer, and, kind of go from there. And that'll help put a little extra money in my pocket for, time spent in the evenings, as well as, like I said, potentially generate some revenue from, the streams through ads and memberships and stuff like that. So, you're stuck with 3 girls, so you're hiding. I do not blame you. I do not blame you. Trust me, my evening got quite eventful there. There's some things we're not talking about right now, but just know that there's been some excitement in my house. So, but yes. Shots may be needed. Yes, Miss Keela. Sometimes you gotta take a relaxer. But yeah, so the hope is to more legitimize the MakerMind Nexus, make it an actual LLC, work on getting some advertising out there about offering 3D printing or 3D printer rebuilding or like repair services. So if anybody's got one and maybe they don't know what they're doing or they don't want to deal with it, they can get it to me, and then we can hang out on a stream and I can rebuild someone's printer. It'll make for good content. Like, what's he repairing today? And we can do a couple nights a week. I'll stream, and while I'm out here working on that, I can hang out with you guys. And then, like I said, the ideal situation would be that leads into we're doing that more than we have time, and we're making enough money. We don't have to do our current day job, and we can just do that. And then, as the days go on, I just rebuild printers and kick them out the door, and maybe we make enough money to open a brick and mortar somewhere, rent a space in the old shopping mall, or find a little place somewhere where we can actually open up a shop and then have, an actual like facility, and then maybe it can grow out from there, and, kind of like Ecovate, something like that, where it's a place where people can come and hang out, work on printers. I can work on printers, throw up a row of printers and start offering services and all kinds of things. Like I said, I'll have at least one printer that should just work back there at some point that I won't have to tinker with. And then we can maybe get a second and a third, and then have a couple of them back there to just kind of like line the wall with, Oh yeah, icon. Yes. Yeah, Icon, not a problem, man. I try to like sub to you guys when I can. Like I'll every now and then, I just kick back and I'll go through and like see my members and I'll click on their channels and see if I'm sub to them or not. And if I'm not, I sub to them because I try to share the love and even channels that have like 1 and 2 subs, I still will go. So I'm like the first sub on quite a few of my members and subscribers webs like YouTube's. I'm like their first sub. So that's pretty cool. Exactly, Keela, and that was the thought is like, as it does things, we can add more stuff. So like, maybe start selling printers, maybe start selling filaments, talk to manufacturers and have their filaments in house, and that way people can just go and then even talk to companies like Micro Swiss and whatnot. And I know that having an open box is like a, or not open box, but like a brick and mortar store, there's a lot of overhead. So it would have to be one of those things where I'm going to have to just start doing it at home on the side. And if it gets to the point where I can do that, I would be super happy. My area is not like a very big area, but um, 3D printing is growing. Manufacturers are making it easier for people to get into it. So having a place where people can go where they don't have to wait, in some cases, 1 to 2 days for parts from Amazon, or, maybe even start carrying some of the more popular parts for some of the more common printers, talking to manufacturers and getting those parts in house and having a small stockpile of the necessities. That'd be cool. It's not something that I can obviously do right now. I don't have the income, but hopefully we can build the income to make that happen. Obviously, I have to start doing something to get there. So um, I want to I know I can do it without registering the LLC. It just, can screw me on taxes. So I'd rather just start the LLC. That way I don't have a potential first year like shafting from the government. So I'd like to just get the LLC established, get an account set up, and then once I have the LLC and the account established, then we can look at I can look at moving, like right now, some of the stuff that goes to my personal banking can get moved over to like business banking. And then, it's going to be easier to like take payments and stuff like that because, it'll all go straight to a business account. And then when I need to buy stuff, it'll be in the business account, and then makes life a little easier just to do it right from the start. So Zybertech, yes, and that's the other cool part too. Is like I said, with the maker, with the printer rehab project idea. If I Once I get that going, I can tell people too that like, hey, if you have old printers that you're not interested in fixing, but you'd like to give to me to rebuild and give away, that'll help, because then I like, if I ever get an established storefront, we can put up signage that just says, home of the printer rehab project. If you have old printers, bring them in, drop them off. We'll rebuild them and donate them to somebody else or give them to somebody else. I really need to like make some time with Tech Jeeper, Shane, Shammy, um, and whoever else it is. Holy shit, I am drawing a blank right now. But um, but get with everybody and kind of like go over everything, because I know we still need to get like login accounts so that Clown Hammer, not Clown Hammer, Tech Jeeper and Shane, they can kind of hammer out website stuff so we can get the website up. Um, Kind of go from there. But guys, I just, my brain complete. Anybody ever had that where like you're thinking about something, your brain just shuts off, and you're like, because that just happened. Yeah. Signed up right now. Sweet. But yeah, like I was trying to talk and my brain just completely shut off on me, like mid conversation. I don't even know why. It's not like I had like anything crazy going on that I had that happen. Zambu. Zambu, there we go. That's what I was thinking of. Zambu. Zambu 2. Yes, Mr. Cassell, you are correct. Hey, by the way, Michael, I want to let you know something good, sir. I spoke to my son. I asked him to hold up a tape measure and take a picture in the height and width that he was looking for, and to then get me those photos, and that I would get them to you. So when he gets that with height and width that he wants, and pretty much what he wants, I will get those to you. You let me know price, and then I will talk to the kid. Usually only when you smoke some weed. Yeah, that happens off axis. That happens, my man. What sucks is that you work with Icon a lot, and there are parts you have that he could use, but he is 600 miles away. Yeah, shipping costs are crazy. You are correct. But that's what I'm saying. Like, if more little maker spaces, like little pop-up spaces like that were around, it would be better. That was the other thought I had too, is that, down the line, if I did get like a big enough facility, like I said, could do like an EcoVate thing where I've got a EcoVate, EcoVate, whatever you want to call it. I don't remember the exact name. I always say EcoVate, but to have a space like that where I could do like a makerspace thing, and then even have where like it's a monthly membership and you get access to everything. You can come in and use whatever you want to use. You can buy stuff, you can buy printers, buy filament and stuff while you're there. Or if you're not sure you want to get into 3D printing, you could just, come in and use our equipment, So that could even be like another thing to add down the line. It would definitely take getting the insurance lined up first before we do that, finding out about the insurance, because that I'm sure is not going to be cheap. Belts, bearings, boards, fans, etc. But you are stuck to Amazon and Ali. Yep. I ordered these on AliExpress, these M6s, because I couldn't find M6x4s on Amazon. So I ordered them off AliExpress, but they're M6s that are 8x4. That's what you need for the lab racks, which I have the lab racks parts right here. So like I said, once I get some M6x10s, we can put it together, but I need those for these pieces here, because you just put the M6x4s in here and in there, right in there. You drop them in, and then you use the M6x10s to put everything together. And then again, like this is one of the verticals, and then this guy goes in like so, and then you just take a M6x10 right there, and then you put them in the front here, and then you just use M6 screws to hold all your pieces together. And then for the Netgear switch that I had, this is a PoE switch. So it's a 4-port PoE, and then 1 port for your uplink. And then with Raspberry Pis, I could put Pi hats on them, and then this should have enough power to power up to 4 of them. And then really it would just be a network cable out of here into a Pi, network cable out of here into a Pi, and I could put up to 4 Pis powered off of here. And then there would just be the 1 power cord to power this. So really I would just have to mount this in here, obviously, and then mount the Raspberry Pis in there, or the Libre boards. I have some Libre boards too. Just need PoE, PoE hats, and be good to go. You actually got the right size off AliExpress. I know it's scary. You need to know what you need and what you are doing for a home lab. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's why I went with the Sliceworx kit. Again, it's nothing against Alan Mandix. It's nothing against his setup. His setup is great, and it uses the standard network or server rack stuff. I just am a bigger fan of more straight edges. And, you know, like I said, I like the overall look of the Sliceworx stuff. So for me, it was a visual thing. Because again, you got this guy goes in here like this. And then you'll have another one on this side like this. And then you have a little 10-inch rack that's 5U tall. And you just put the M6 heat inserts all the way down the front and in the sides. And there you go. And then this would be like this. And then for the sides, you've got these guys that have heat inserts you put in for handles, which you also put your feet in there too. So if you 3D print the feet, and then this would be kind of a side profile. Once I get it all put together, I need to get a hold of Happy and talk to him about cutting me some acrylic panels to put in here, because Happy does acrylic panels. So if you guys are looking for panels, you can talk to Happy about printing them for you. But so this would be kind of like the side profile, and then there's your kind of your front profile. So it's pretty cool, and it's on Maker World. If you look up Sliceworx on Maker World, it's Michael Clements. He's on YouTube, and he did some how-to videos of like printing and putting it together. But here's the handles that he designed to go on it for the top, and they just a couple M6 by the M6 by 10s, and then the M6 heat inserts, and then just bam, you've got handles on top to pick it up, carry it around. And then again, if you want to print the feet, it uses these same pieces on the bottom, and then you just print some TPU feet, and then an M6 screw through the center into a heat insert, and then you have some rubber feet to set it on. So the whole thing took probably, what was it? I used the Core 1, took I think 2 days to print all the parts on the Core 1 because I was not at work the whole time, so I couldn't just keep swapping out plates. But, and then this piece I printed on the Mark III back there. So, Digital Dragon, good to see you, man. Hey, we've been talking about Ecovate a lot because I've been inspired. I want to open a shop around here similar to that. Call it MakerMind Nexus. Yeah, it'd be kind of cool. Really, I was talking about my idea of just, for right now, just out of my house working on 3D printers for people, rebuilding them. And then in the evenings when I'm working on a printer, I can stream and hang out with everybody. And then if it got to the point where it was producing enough income where I could quit my day job and open a storefront somewhere, offer 3D printing repair services, maybe get some parts and have some things in-house. If people want to do it themselves, they can come buy it from me directly. They don't have to wait for Amazon and all that stuff. Or then down the road, maybe turn it into like a place where people come hang out and use the equipment, stuff like that. And even maybe do makerspace with like a monthly membership that gains you access to everything, and you just pay a membership and you can do all that too. So just thoughts. In my area, I don't have that, so it would be cool to do that. Shrimp Daddy, what's going on, man? But as I was saying though, guys, I found the rack mount for the 10-inch rack for the switch that I have. See, it's even got little inserts. The only thing is you got to print this part here and screw it in with a couple M2s. But so this guy, it just drops right in there, and then you've got that little bump stop to keep it from going back when you're plugging and unplugging, and then fits in a 10U or a 10-inch rack. And it also works with, if I made buckets kit into a 10-inch rack instead, a little 2U 10-inch, I could take this and mount this in here, make it a 10-inch, and then on top I could put something else, a little patch panel or something, and have this little guy. And if Bucket redesigns it without the little feet on it, I could even do something where I mount it up here underneath, you know, and have like a little rack right here in front of me that I could have access to. So, but that's scope creep, and that's something that Bucket's working on, trying to harness that scope creep into something other than just a million ideas and no projects. I told him start with this, get it uploaded, and then as you do that, you can kind of add more stuff to it as you go, and be like, here's a variation of it for this, here's a variation of it for that, kind of a thing. So, but so maybe, just maybe later this week, if I can get some M6 by 10s, I guess I could go add it to my wish list. I guess I could get on the old Amazons. And I think I actually have some in my cart currently. I do. I have 100 count of M6 by 10 for $8.29 or 28 cents. Let me go add these to my wish list real quick. And then if anybody wanted to get them for me, and then on the next stream we could assemble the rack, it'd be great. Not a requirement ever, but I'm adding it to the MakerMind Nexus wish list. View my wish list. And then let's go ahead and click on the share my wish list. Copy link. There you go. There's the Amazon wish list. They're the first thing on the list. So feel free, if anybody would like to, feel free to click the link. It's like $8.28. If you got that burning a hole in your pocket, you want to help me out, consider getting the screws. Send them my way. And then on the next stream, we'll do the heat inserts and we'll build the lab racks. I still need to print the parts for installing Raspberry Pis. And then I need to get some Pi hats too, some PoE hats for the Pis. Let's see something here. PoE hat for Raspberry Pi. Here's the PoE hat for Raspberry Pi 5. I have 2 Raspberry Pi 5s, so I could throw them in there. How much are they? 28 bucks. But yeah, there's the, oh, it even has like the wave share fan on it. And it even opens up, it has a pass through to open up for the pins on the other side. Add that to the wish list too, just might as well. There we go. And then let's go look up Pi hats for non-Raspberry Pi, like Raspberry Pi 4. It looks similar. I don't know that it would have an issue. But just to play safe, it does say 3 and 4, so it'll work for that. So add to list. I'm just going to put these in the wish list. If anybody gets them for me, great, thank you. If you don't, that's okay. I'm just going to add them. Doesn't hurt to put stuff in your wish list. That's why it's called a wish list, because it's stuff you wish for. But there we go. So there's those. Add it in if anybody wants to. If not, not a big deal. I should be running out of filament here, I would think, soon. Maybe there was more filament on that spool than I thought. Will, good to see you, man. Glad you're here. Sorry I missed you a little bit earlier there, but I do see you. Hi. Loving wife. Yes, dear. What? I didn't see a message from you. Let me go look at my messages, or my message. Yes, Lovey, I will. I will. I'm waiting for this print. Hopefully it'll be done here in a little bit. But yes, I love you. Everybody say hi to my wife. She's right there in chat. She's a mod. If you're mean, she'll kick you from chat. Mike V, good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Honey, all my friends are behind me on starting doing the 3D printing repair stuff and doing streams while doing that. So maybe I should start messaging out on like Facebook and stuff to like local groups that if anybody has a 3D printer and needs some repair work done to kind of like reach out to me and we can start doing that. And then I can just start working on printers here at home for now. And then if it gets to the point where I'm making enough, we can kind of branch it out into the like 8 million other ideas that I have. Drago. What's up, Drago? Hope you're doing well. Hope things are going well for you. We're just having a hangout stream. I was talking about Michael Clemence's Lab Racks kit that we want to build or finish building. Talking about Bearded Bucket's 2U adjustable rack for anybody who wants to build a little 2U rack. It uses 1x2s and number 8 wood screws, and you just cut the wood to length and then put it in there, screw it down, and you have a little 2U server rack. We're also talking about pinned in the top there is my buddy Viking. His website, his make Tinker Atlas. Hi, dear. You coming out?
When I wash this in the shower,
you don't want water to hit it directly.
Well, then how the fuck am I gonna shower?
You stand there in the shower and you let the water run down, but you don't touch it. You take that antibacterial soap. Yeah, well, you take the antibacterial soap and you gently rub. I can't, love. I can't. I have dirty hands and you want me to touch it. You're going to need to go in and stick your leg in the shower, spray some water on it, pump up some soap, and then just gently rub. Well, wash your whole body, but when you wash that part, make sure you use the antibacterial soap and put it on directly. And then when you're done, you get out, pat dry, don't wipe. And then after that, apply triple antibiotic ointment or the A&D ointment.
Shower in the morning, I've seen how to do it.
I'm telling you how. Wifey got a tattoo, guys. I don't know if she really wants. Oh, Digital Dragon says hi. Yeah. Do you want me to show the internet? You want to kick your leg up here and me show the internet?
My leg looks retarded.
Baby, it's not my fault.
It's all red all the way around it.
Yes, it's red because you have very sensitive skin. So of course it's red. Yeah, you need to wash it off and use the antibacterial. You need to get going on that, cleaning it. So tonight I would stick your leg in the shower.
Yeah, but this doesn't hurt.
Stick your leg in the shower and clean it tonight, please.
Yes. Awesome.
And then, yeah, just stick your leg in the shower. Spray warm water, not hot. Warm water. Pump up some soap in your hand. Get a nice lather and gently rub around. Don't press hard, but gently rub around and around and around. And then after you're done, rinse thoroughly.
Well, why does it
pat
hurt
dry.
She did it. This doesn't hurt. It hurts all the way around. Look at the red all around
because, okay, hold on. Let me lock this for a minute. Let me go this way. I want to make sure I don't go too far and come down. There you go. Look, there's Mama's tattoo, guys.
It's red around it. It doesn't hurt.
Quit with your finger. But yeah, so there's her tattoo. She got the 3 girls' names done with it shadowed or reflect. Yeah, like doing a reflection. Mirrored. Yeah, it's mirrored or reflecting. So she got all 3 of the girls' names done with a different colored heart for each one of them. She needs to go clean it and she needs to put ointment on it. She never likes me, guys. She only married me so that she could be unhappy.
I want this duck.
You going in front of the camera?
I don't care.
Which duck did you take? Oh, you want that one? I thought for sure you'd want the one with the multicolored. Oh, let me go back, guys. Sorry. Havoc says he needs more tattoos. Yeah, Havoc, I'm getting my next tattoo is going to be right here.
Dan doesn't get another tattoo.
It's going to be right here.
We don't like him.
I almost lost my ring, but I mean it's going to be right here. Can you guys guess what I'm going to put right there?
Hi,
She's happy to see you. You should come in and close the door so that the air conditioner is not wasting.
Go inside.
Okay, hold on. Let me see.
Go to bed.
Okay.
I'm taking my duck. Well, no, leave my duck there. Just don't let me have my duck.
You can take the duck and hide it in the bedroom somewhere. She's going in front of the camera again, guys. Look.
You can just see the back of my head. Look. It's my big duck.
Little duck on big duck.
Those are mine.
Okay. Okay. Love you.
Don't forget me.
I won't. I know. I'm not dumb husband.
I'm not bringing you in this room.
I'm not dumb husband.
Here, I love you.
Okay, I love you. Go get your leg clean. Thinking of doing ring tattoos as well? Yes, Michael. Yes, that is it. I'm going to get. If I get her whole name, it'll go all the way around, and that's fine. But you know, probably not. Wait, Will, what'd I miss? Yeah, TMC 2209. I think that might get me that might be like grounds for divorce if I got TMC 2209 tattooed around my finger instead of my loving wife's name. I mean, this channel is marked for 18 and over, so I can tell you guys a little story. So my loving wife, I told her that if we made it 10 years married, I'd get her name tattooed somewhere else. Yeah, I know you guys can kind of think about that. But the problem we ran into is my loving wife is a very jealous person. So she don't want anybody else to see or touch that area of my person. So she said, get it on your ring finger. Get my name on your ring finger. I said, that's fine. Absolutely not. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I made the smart ass comment that I would get that tattooed there. And up until the fact that we're now at year 9, now she's realizing that we're getting close and that ain't happening, you know. Just Sam, Bearded Bucket, just Sam. There wouldn't be enough room for anything else. Sam's kind of pushing it. Yeah, well, so we've since changed that to the ring finger. So tell the missus I said hello. Yeah. I have since kind of, I'm glad that we've changed that to the ring finger. I will tell you guys, I am having to kind of like scan down my my wish list here, and I am realizing that nobody ever sent me the big bag of Swedish fish. So thought you were going to do initials. Yeah, but still 3 initials. If I did her initials and it's 3 letters for Sam, still not enough room. But nobody ever sent me a bag of Swedish fish. All those times I said, don't send me a bag of Swedish fish. You guys listened. You never sent me a bag of Swedish fish. Well, Mr. Cassell, I hope you can, good sir. That would be awesome. I think that everyone who has a tattoo understands ink therapy, and everybody who doesn't have one, that's my wife's first tattoo. Like, she waited this long and finally got her first tattoo. And it works out well because we have a friend who is a aspiring tattoo artist. So it worked out well for my wife because she got a tattoo. Called it. Your daughter's name, your daughter's name, a picture, not sure when. Will, exactly. Got your first one in your early 20s? Yeah, Viking, I was in my 20s when I got my first one. My first one is actually all the way up here. It's this guy. I got just actually, no, that was my second one. This was my first one up here. Just the gargoyle. Right here. Just the gargoyle. It was just him by himself, nothing else. I got a gargoyle. He was my protector. And then I got just this done up here, the tiger with the wings, because tigers are strength and wings are freedom. So strength and freedom. Guardian, strength and freedom. And then I got my pectorals done. I got a skull ripping out of my chest right here. See? That's like the fear and pain tearing out. And then I got my son's footprint right here, my oldest son. And then on my back right here, I have a nice piece. I had all just blacks and grays. I had no color done. And then I started getting pieces done in color. So the piece that's on my neck, or right up here on the back, is a angel looking into water. Its reflection back is like a little devil or a little Hell's Angel looking back at it. And it was just in black and, basically just done in blacks. And then I got my other two sons' footprints done. You can actually kind of see it right there. Look. See? Look, you can see part of it anyway. But when he did the colors kind of flip-flopped. So there's like purples and stuff on top and like blues down below. So pretty cool. Maybe one of these days we'll do a tattoo tour, just not today. But I'm going to get the missus's name done, and then I want to get my daughter's footprints, my youngest daughter. I want to get her footprints flipped so they look like butterfly wings, and then do her name and then birth date. Because I did the boys' with their names and birth dates, so I want to do my daughter's name with her birth date down the side and flip-flop the footprints so they look like butterfly wings. How cool is that? I just gave you guys all an idea for something to steal. Because I did my son's footprints, so I want to do my daughter's. And then for the older three girls, what I'm probably going to do is carry this piece down my arm and just do probably a full sleeve by the time it's done. Who knows when the hell that's going to happen, guys. I don't have money growing up my ass, so that's why I don't have any tattoos. And because, again, my wife's friend is an aspiring tattoo artist, a name across the finger is a nice, small, easy thing to do. So, bam. But at some point, I would like to carry this down and then for my three daughters, get something that represents those three here. And then I got family on my wrist. It looks like it. So I want to get something that looks like SH on this side so I can just be like, shit. But left shoulder down to your wrist. Yeah, Vikings got like almost a full sleeve rocking or a sleeve rocking there. So at some point, like I said, this arm will end up probably being a full sleeve, maybe one day. Maybe one day. And this side I wanted to do, since I've got like the gargoyle sitting up here, and then like the tattoo artist hand drew all this stuff in. So like the tower top, and then the cloud cover with the little bit of lightning kind of coming through. You can kind of see a little lightning in there. He hand drew all that in. This was a stencil. And then the rest of it was all, he just sat there on my arm and drew it all in and then went back through and made it permanent. And then this ended up, like I said, it started as this, and then it actually ended up being three separate pieces. You got the tiger looking into the water, and then he basically drew in all of this back here. And then like the greenery, I think was a stencil, if I remember right. I think it was this part with the tiger and the water was all a stencil, and then he hand drew in the cliff with the waterfall. So, but yeah. So this side would be color, and if I ever finish this side, it would be like an all black and white, or like a gray, blacks and grays all the way down. So if I ever get full sleeves, this side will be the dark side, and this side will be colorful. Bumblebee's flowers with hexagons. Grandma's flower garden. Nice. Quilted pattern. Okay. Cool. Yes, I did. Yes. Tattoos are nice, You don't have any tattoos unless you count the soldering iron burns and brazing burns. Yeah, I've got some scars from burns over the years. Like when I was younger, right here and right here, I was playing. I don't know if you guys will be able to see those. They've kind of faded quite a bit. There we go. See those two little scars right there? I was dumb, young, played a game of chicken. For those of you who know how you get burn marks on your arm from playing chicken, just know that the guy that I was playing with was also like Mr. Billy Badass for pain, and he was like, I don't feel nothing. I said, oh yeah? So I put my hand underneath and grabbed his arm, and I went, whomp, and rolled our arms together and put them out between our arms. So he's got 2 matching scars on his right arm to match my left arm. Yeah. However, I will tell you, when I did that, he did pull his arm away. So I would have to say I think I won. Could be wrong, but I think he did pull his arm away when I did that. So I do believe I won that. However, I was blessed with 2 scars on my arm for many years now. So was it worth it? Probably not. Kind of a dumb thing to do. Wouldn't recommend it for anyone. I would recommend no one do that. And then this was from last year. I was pulling a pan out of the oven and I had my arm like this and I pulled this way and the pan dropped off the rack as it got to the end and hit my arm and left this lovely big scar right there across the arm. Bart Simpson scars. Yeah. Love the idea. So you're going to definitely steal a hexagon theme? Yeah. Hexagons are the bestagons, guys. And remember, gyroid is the tastiest infill. Few dumbass scars. Yeah, I think we all have a few dumbass scars. Like I have this one. I can't see it, but I'm pretty sure I'm showing it to you guys. There's this right here. That was when I was a little kid. I was standing on the back of a tricycle, kicking along. I was standing on the back with my hands on the grips, and my brother and I had this bad habit when we were little of taking the handle grips off of everything. So I was kicking along on the tricycle, and the back wheel fell off. And then the tricycle went over, and the handlebar came up and caught and pushed it all back up under. It was all rolled up in. So this was open on the side of my head. And I went like this and went, ow. And I pulled my hand away, and my whole hand was red. So I hauled ass in the house, like freaking out, and kicked my parents' door open and said, ah, and I went like this and turned my head. And my mother informed me that you could see all of it right here. Like this was rolled under. It was just a hole. This is back in the 80s. And they didn't like to give you lidocaine, novocaine, things like that in your head. The idea to numb it was to put an ice pack on it. So I laid in the emergency room for quite a while. My mother was quite angry, and even to this day when we talk about it, gets frustrated at the fact that I had to wait as long as I did in the emergency room. But then they wanted me to keep an ice pack on an open wound on the side of my head. It hurt. For those who don't know, like when things happen, head trauma, head pains tend to hurt more because they're closer to your brain. It doesn't take as long to get there. The pain receptors don't take as long to get to your brain because it's like up here. Like foot pains tend to hurt less because they're farther away. So it takes farther to travel to get up to your brain. Just a thing. I could be wrong, and you could tell me I'm a dumbass, but that's what I've been told, so that's what I'm going to stick to. But putting an ice pack on an open wound on the side of a small boy's head hurt like hell. I screamed like you would not believe when they were trying to put the ice pack on there. So when they put the stitches in my head, I had no numbing of any kind. It was, they pulled this out, they pulled the fur and everything else out from underneath and washed it out, and then put the flap back together, and then stitched this with no numbing. So like, you know, when you cut your finger and they give you some Novocaine or lidocaine or something in the area, like your finger or whatever, there was none of that back then. It's a pain I still remember at 46, and I was probably 6 when it happened. So 40 years later, and I can still, like, my head hurts when I think about that. Like this area right now has got weird, like tingly, like feeling going on. So, yeah. Yes, Havoc. I have been brain dead for that long. Yes. Stop your woozy. Yeah, Lightspeed. Yeah. It was a good time. Yeah. Before that though, when I was little, my parents had a van. There's a little scar on the back of my head too. My parents had a van, and it had a screw sticking out a little bit. And I was sitting on the door, on the armrest on the door, and I fell, and I caught that, and a couple stitches in the back of my head there. I had a couple stitches in my finger here too, because I Was trying to be a good brother. Oh, actually, sorry, the stitches are in this finger. I did it on both hands, but this is the hand that had the stitches right here in the knuckle. I was trying to be a good brother and help my sister out, and I had a Swiss Army knife, and I was trying to poke holes in the lid of a plastic like container so that she could put some lightning bugs in it. And as I was twisting the knife in, the knife closed on my finger, and 3 stitches later there. And I worked for my ex-wife's uncle who owned a carpet company, so we were doing carpet installs. My first experience with a carpet knife, I tapped the blade, like legitimately tapped the blade. Like more stitches in the tip of this finger. Kind of can't tell, but there's a scar across my finger from here to about here, and it was just stitches and a nice hard plastic like sleeve and some tape, and back to work I went. But Lightspeed, good to see you, man. Hope you're doing well. We're just kind of hanging out, checking out the Sliceworx plate. It's currently printing a Dapper Dan duck on the Prusa Mark III that I have sitting back here. It's Mark III S Plus. And we have the Sliceworx plate on there. And again, I have a link if anybody wants to use it. Feel free. One amputated toe sucks. Yeah, oh God. I've never lost a limb, so I don't know, or a part of a limb or an appendage. I've never lost one to know, but again, we all know one guy who has lots of leg pain, but no leg to have pain. And I've got another guy that we went to school with that he got his, I will try to be as nice as I can when I tell this story, but my brother was working that evening. He was working with this guy, so he bared like witness to what happened. But the gentleman was working on a drill press, and the drill press was spinning, and it was wintertime, so he had a coat on, or like a long sleeve on, and he just happened to put his hand up as the grabbed the sleeve, and it started to bring him in, and he put his feet and his hand on the drill press and pushed back with everything he had. But this much of him didn't come with him. So he didn't bring this much of him with him when he hit the floor. And my brother actually was out dumping stuff, and as he come back around the corner, he saw him laying on the ground like this, but this much was missing, and things were doing things when he came around the corner. So quickly they did this. They picked that up. The ambulance came. They got him out and took him up to Chicago to one of the hospitals up there, where they spent, what was it, 16 or 19 hours trying to put this part back on this part. And in the end, they ended up having to go back in because it just wasn't going together. They ended up having to go back in and then take this part back off. And now he's got a sweet set of, bionic digits now. So, yeah. But yeah, back to the plates. They are good plates. I do like them. They do stick well. I did make the stupid noob mistake. We did not run the first layer calibration, and we did not MRF the build plate. And by MRF, I mean use a moist towel to wipe off the build plate. But this is one of the textured dipped plates, and it's my first actual like textured dip plate. I have dip plates from them already. Like I have the ones that I believe you helped with Lightspeed when you, I believe you said you were helping with this series, the gray dip plate. So I shouldn't be doing this, but I'll be sure to give it a good scrub-a-dub-dub with some hot water and wipe it down. But I believe this was the series you said you assisted them with. I don't know about that one, but that's the black textured dip plate. But yeah, it's they've been good plates. I do like them, and that's why when the opportunity arose to be able to get this one and show it off, I definitely wasn't saying no. So, and again, anybody who would like to get one, there is a link down there. Feel free to click that link. It saves you a couple of bucks and gives me a little kickback. The new ones are the Neo plates. Yeah, I'm hoping that I have a Centauri Carbon coming. Fabrico is sending me one out, so hopefully, we'll be able to get a dip plate for that since it uses the same size plates as the bamboos. So maybe we'll be able to get a plate for that. Maybe. Never know. Central 3D filament spools do not fit the Ace Pro. They do not? Okay. Good to know. I do know that Central sent me a roll of their ABS Plus. And as soon as I get the Centauri Carbon, we're going to throw some ABS Plus on it and have some fun. You kind of want a Centauri Carbon? Viking, I wish there was a way we could get you one, good sir, because, would be nice. 1,000 on day one. Your original plates are still used every day. They are good. Yes. Lightspeed. I know Havoc doesn't like those plates because they stick too well. But again, I would rather have it, be that way. But he has had some issues in the past with his, so I understand. And like I said, not everybody's going to have, the same experience. But, like I said, my experiences with the plates have been good. So I'm going to continue to use them. And if anybody is interested, based on my experiences, I hope they click the link and they get one. Yeah, I understand that, Viking, about the not needing but wanting. Me personally, honestly, if the Centauri Carbon comes in at its price point and what it can do, I don't really do a lot of like multicolor printing, but if I did, I'd probably end up with like a K2 Plus, or if down the road the Centauri Carbon AMS or multi-material unit when it comes out, if it's good, I'll definitely want to get one and try it out. And if they work well, it's got a decent sized bill volume. Again, the 256 by 256 by 256 is good. It's a good size bill volume. So it would be nice. And then, like I said, at some point, I'll probably get a couple of them. At least I will at least make one poor financial decision and buy a second one at some point, I'm sure. But it'd be nice to have something that I'm not going to monkey around with, tinker around with, do something stupid with. I'm just going to put it up there, throw filament at it, throw prints at it, and just let it work. And then still have, like I said, we'll still rebuild old printers and have those to play around with. We'll still have stuff, some stuff to play around with. But the T1 Pro, I'll probably get it unclogged, and then the T1 Pro will probably go to a new home. The Magneto will keep around because it's big, it's awkward, and it's just weird. So it's fun to have. So we'll keep the Magneto around, but we'll probably throw a couple Centauri Carbons up top. And the switch wire, it's always, kind of had a special place in my heart. But if something ever happens, it'll probably be, one of the ones that goes as well. But at least one Centauri Carbon for now. Maybe Lightspeed can convince Creality to send me a K2 Plus. Just kidding, man. I'm just kidding. Use matte filament or TPU. Yeah. So like the original texture for some things. Yeah. Oh, sorry guys, I'm just getting caught up by chat. Sorry I yawned, but like I told you guys, it's been a long day. I've been getting up at between 4:30 and 4:45, and then off to work. I leave for work by about 5:15, work till about 2:30, and then like tomorrow is board meeting, so I will get into work between 6 and 7 because I'm not going to like rush in there, but I'll get into work between 6 and 7. And then be there till 7:30, 8, probably, because it'll be the first board meeting under the new fiscal year, so there'll be more stuff to cover. So, yeah. So $500,000 and stuff over the last 90 days, and they still won't send you anything. Yeah, I know. That's the messed up part, man. Like, you've been crazy on TikTok with all their stuff, and they still won't just send you anything. And we did not run out of filament, guys. However, there is this much left. This is all that's left. So we did make it to the end with a full print. It is the Galaxy Black PLA from Prusa. We'll just stick that on there now. And here, rather than pull it off, let's just bring the duck over here and show you guys. See? Good sticky texture. Pull that little purge line off there. And then let's see, ready? Look at that. Good flexes. There it goes. It finally fell off. But there we go. So they are good plates. Things do stick when you remember to level your bed properly. So remember to level your bed properly and do your first layer calibration. But to show you, the legs do wiggly wobbly still. So everything printed properly there. And to show you guys the first layer after we redid our calibration here, there is the butt, duck butt. But look at that. Good duck butt. And it's on a Mark III, so it's Mark III quality print. You know. So there we go. One good duck butt. May have to try another plate for the S1. That plate does look nice. It does. And it's the like I said, this is the actual, like the actual textured dipped plate. So you can see that it's definitely different. And you saw, like, I did have to do, again, the first layer calibration just to make sure that the first layer wasn't pressing in too much. Too much squish on these plates is a bad thing. You want a nice, even squish. You don't want to do too much. Usually in the past on like a textured plate, I would press it into the texture a little bit more. You need it to lay flat. You don't need it to like press in deep into the texture because the plate, like I said, right out of the packaging, the plate was like tacky. Even at you know, room temperature, it was still there's a little bit of a tack to it. As a matter of fact, looking at it, the little bit of dust that was on my fingers is now stuck to it. So I'll have to make sure that I murph the build plate again. And again, for those who don't know what murphing the build plate means, it means to moisten a towel and wipe it down with a moist towel. So we kind of coined the murphing the build plate. Yeah. So, but yeah, Havoc, I think if you get the newer plates and double check that first layer, I think you'll be quite happy with it. The black textured plate, the black textured dip plate. I did, again, put the link down there. So if anybody uses it, great. Give me just a second, gang, because the missus is calling. So give me just a moment. All right, gang. Sorry. The missus was just telling me I need to bring her blanket up when I come upstairs. But I told her I need to run and get her a fountain pop. And then I'm going to take a shower and let the doggo in. Because doggo loves to hang out outside. The old boy. Yes. But anyway, gang. So we are now down another partial. Pretty much that last little bit there will go on to whatever I print next, which will probably be another duck. And then I'll grab another roll of PLA off the shelf and throw it in there and just whatever I print, which would be probably, like I said, another duck. So, but I do thank you guys for coming and hanging out. I thank Sliceworx again for sending the plate over for me to show off. If you guys like them and you want one, again, link is down below. This stream is a typical Dan stream where conversation is all over the place. We talk about fun stuff and we showed off the build plate. I also showed you guys what not to do. Make sure you don't do what I did. Make sure you first properly level. Do your first layer, do a proper level, do your first layer calibration, make sure it is correct, and make sure you murph the build plate. So moist towel with water, and then wipe it down real good, and then send your print, and you should not be upset or disappointed. The first layer texturing looked nice on the print, so cannot complain. And again, we did feature some other stuff, like, again, Viking's Tinker Atlas website, which is over here. Feel free to sign up. And again, when you put yourself on the map, you don't have to dox yourself. You can just pick a general location and drop yourself in the general location. You don't need to go completely crazy and drop it right on top of your house. We also showed off Bearded Buckets 2U 1x2 put together rack that uses rack hardware. So you can get like actual rack nuts and put them in there, and then make it to whatever size you want. If you want to make a little 2U 10-inch rack, or you want to do a 19-inch rack. And then again, the other parts that you would print and put behind it. Actually, this is the wrong one. It's this one that you can print for your depth. So you can have it as deep as you want and as wide as you want, and have a nice little 2U rack for, tabletop network stuff, testing things, so it's a cool little idea that he's got going there, and we'll see what kind of comes from that. And hopefully one day he'll post it online for people to go get it, and then you guys can get the link and go get them if you want to print them yourself. So there was that. And then we talked again about lab racks from Michael Clements here on YouTube. If you look him up, he's got the lab rack system. This isn't part of his, this is somebody else's, but here's the lab racks pieces. We're gonna finish putting that together when I get the M6x10 screws, and we've got the M6 heat inserts to put in it. If it would actually focus, there we go. The M6 heat inserts to put in. They're 8 mil by 4 mils. So there's all the things we kind of covered. We talked about tattoos and the wife's tattoo. We talked about some of my battle scars and the stupid stuff I've done in the past, and pains that friends have felt in the past. And yeah, but I do thank you guys for hanging out. Again, link down there if you want to get a build plate, or even if not, if you want to get anything from Sliceworx, consider clicking the link down there and purchasing whatever goodies you want. Again, the affiliate link helps me out with a little kickback from your purchase, and it helps you out by getting a little discount for doing so. If the discount doesn't automatically apply, don't forget it's MMN, Maker Mind Nexus. MMN is my discount code. So feel free to throw that in there and get yourself that. Bearded Bucket says, check your phone. All right, Bearded Bucket, I'm looking at my phone. I heard a buzz. I wasn't sure what it was. Hey, Bearded Bucket. For the fizzy drink and wood screws. Well, thank you, Bearded Bucket. Thank you, good sir. Mama's going to thank you for that fizzy drink. And I will pick up the wood and screws, because the wood and screws I can pick up as well. So tomorrow's board meeting night. I don't know that I'll be able to go get them tomorrow, but if I can, I will pick those up tomorrow, and then we can finish building this guy out. And then I happen to have, I don't know if I have ears on them, but I have a bunch of old racks or network switches. So we could always throw some network switches in there just to kind of show it off and see how it all holds up. But we will definitely do that, good sir. So again, Mama, thanks you for the fizzy drink. And yeah, I'll get the other stuff and we'll finish it up. We'll figure out how long we need them. We'll get them cut down, and then we'll screw it all together. But yeah, so Bearded Bucket, thank you, good sir. Everybody else, thanks for coming and hanging out. Hope you guys have a wonderful evening. If you liked what you saw here, I hope you smashed the like button. If you wanted to support me, consider becoming a member. And other than that, I'll see you guys later. X, and I'm trying to get better at using the community post for when I'm going to go live. So just keep an eye on that. But you guys have a wonderful evening. I do really, truly thank you guys for coming and hanging out with me tonight. I didn't expect to have a big turnout, but I did. So thank you. Have a wonderful evening, guys.